Hello story lovers, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying to the heart of West Africa, to the land of the Ashanti people in Ghana. We're about to unravel a fascinating tale, a story that's been told from one generation to the next, filled with wisdom, humor, and a very clever character you might already know. This is the story of Anansi, the spider and a hardworking farmer. So get comfortable and let's dive into the world of Ghanaian folklore. Long, long ago, in a small village nestled among lush green hills, lived a farmer named Kweku. Kweku was known throughout the land for his diligence. Every single day, from the moment the sun first kissed the horizon until it dipped below the trees, Kweku was in his fields. He worked his yam farm with a love and dedication that was truly inspiring. His yams were the biggest, his soil the richest, and his harvest the most plentiful. But Kweku had a problem. A very persistent, eight-legged problem. Every morning, when he arrived at his farm, he found that some of his finest yams were missing. Not just any yams, mind you, but the largest, most perfect ones he had been nurturing. At first, he thought it was just a few. Maybe a wild animal had gotten hungry. But day after day, more and more yams vanished. The holes in the ground were a constant, frustrating reminder of his missing treasures. Kweku was baffled. He patrolled his farm, he built higher fences, he even stayed late into the evening. But the thief was too clever. It was as if the yams were simply vanishing into thin air. Determined to solve this mystery, Kweku decided he needed a plan. He wouldn't let this cunning thief ruin the harvest he had worked so hard for. He needed a trap, but not just any trap. It had to be something special, something that could outsmart a thief this clever. So Kweku went to the forest and gathered the stickiest latex from a rubber tree. He worked for hours, molding and shaping it. Slowly, a figure began to take form. He crafted a life-size doll, shaping its arms, its legs, and its head with great care. He coated the entire figure with the thick, sticky sap, making it look like a person standing silently in the field. He placed this tarman, as he called it, right in the middle of his yam patch, next to his most prized yams. With his trap set, Kweku hid behind a large bush, his heart pounding with anticipation. He was ready to wait all night if he had to. As the moon climbed high into the velvet sky, casting a silvery glow over the fields, a tiny figure emerged from the edge of the forest. It moved with a peculiar, scurrying gait. It was none other than Anansi, the spider, the trickster himself. Anansi was known far and wide for his cleverness and his insatiable appetite. He had been enjoying the farmer's delicious yams for weeks, and tonight he was back for more. He scuttled confidently into the field, his eyes gleaming as he spotted a patch of particularly large yams. But then he froze. Standing right there, next to his midnight snack, was a figure. Anansi, ever cautious, called out from a distance, "Hello there, good evening to you." The tarman, of course, did not reply. It stood perfectly still. Anansi felt a little insulted. He crept closer and said, A bit louder this time, I said, "Good evening. Are you deaf? It is rude not to greet someone who greets you." Still, there was only silence. The tarman remained motionless. Now Anansi was getting angry. His pride was wounded. "You think you're better than me. You ignore Anansi. I will teach you some manners," he shouted. With all his might, Anansi swung his front right leg and slapped the tarman right across the face. Asterisk, but his leg didn't come back. It was stuck fast in the gooey tar. "Let go of me," Anansi cried, struggling to pull his leg free. "What kind of trick is this? Let go or I will hit you again, even harder." The tarman, naturally, did not let go. Furious, Anansi swung his front left leg, trying to land another blow. Asterisk stalk. Asterisk now, that leg was stuck too. He was trapped, held tight by the silent, sticky figure. Anansi was in a full-blown panic. "Let me go, you silent brute," he shrieked. He kicked with his back legs, one after the other, and with each kick he became more and more entangled in the tar. He tried to headbutt the doll, only to get his head stuck. In his frantic struggle, he thrashed his entire body against the tarman until all 8 of his legs and his head were completely glued to the sticky doll. He was utterly and completely caught. He couldn't move an inch. All he could do was dangle there, helpless, as the night wore on. When the first rays of dawn broke through the morning mist, Kwaku the farmer emerged from his hiding spot. A wide grin spread across his face when he saw the sight before him. There, stuck to his tarman, was the thief, a very sorry-looking Anansi, the spider, covered from head to toe in sticky black tar. "Aha!" Kwaku exclaimed, walking toward the trap. "So, you are the one who has been stealing my finest yams." The great and clever Anansi, caught like a common fly in a web, Anansi, embarrassed and defeated, couldn't even look the farmer in the eye. He just mumbled, "It wasn't me, ... It was the wind." Kwaku just chuckled. He wasn't a cruel man, but he believed that everyone should learn from their mistakes. He didn't punish Anansi severely. Instead, he decided the humiliation of being caught was punishment enough. He carefully pulled Anansi off the doll, the sticky tar pulling at the spider's thin, spindly legs. As Kwaku freed him, the tar stretched and stretched. When Anansi was finally loose, he looked down at himself in horror. His legs, once short and sturdy, were now long, thin, and spindly. His waist, from all the struggling and pulling, had become incredibly narrow. He was no longer the spider he once was. He had been changed forever by his greed and the farmer's clever trap. From that day on, Anansi the spider looked as he does today, with a tiny, narrow waist and long, gangly legs. And as for Kwaku, no one ever stole from his yam patch again. The story of how he outsmarted the cleverest trickster in the land spread far and wide. A reminder that hard work will always triumph and that greed eventually will always get you stuck. And that's the tale of Anansi and the farmer. It's a wonderful story that teaches us about the consequences of our actions and the value of honesty and hard work. What I love about folk tales like this is how they use humor and memorable characters to pass down important life lessons. Anansi is such a complex character. Sometimes he's the hero, sometimes he's the villain, but he always teaches us something. What do you think? Have you heard other stories about Anansi the spider? Let me know your favorite one in the comments below. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this journey into Ghanaian folklore, please give this video a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure into the world of stories. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this time with me. Until next time, keep the stories alive.